Welcome to the Explainer. You know, we are standing literally right on the edge of the 2026 WNBA playoffs, and the tension, it is absolutely palpable. On one hand, we've got these cold, hard mathematical simulations confidently spitting out who's going to take the crown. But on the other hand, we have reality, the unpredictable, chaotic, injury-prone reality of a grueling WNBA season. So today, we're going to put that data to the ultimate test against the human element of the game. Okay, let's dive into this, because right now, this is the single biggest question hanging over the entire league. Can anyone actually stop the Minnesota Lynx? I mean, they are heavily favored, and they are absolutely dominating the power rankings. But look, in a league where a single rolled ankle or a surprise trade demand can flip the entire script overnight, is any team truly inevitable? To figure that out, we're covering 5 key areas today. First, the 2026 playoff picture. Then, simulating the WNBA Finals. After that, injuries shifting the balance, followed by off-court drama and distractions, and we'll wrap up with the playoff format explained. Section 1. The 2026 playoff picture. So as the regular season winds down, the battle for playoff seeding is getting fiercely tight. But one franchise has definitively separated themselves from the pack, and the magic number here? It's 380. That is the record-breaking number of regular season wins just achieved by Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve. She actually just passed Mike the Bolt for the top spot on the all-time list. And what makes this so incredibly remarkable is her unmatched ability to maximize talent. Even coming into the season with some real questions around player absences, Reeve has masterfully guided her squad to an incredible start. It just proves once again why she's an absolute foundational pillar of WNBA success. And thanks to that brilliant coaching, the Lynx are sitting pretty at the top of the Week 11 power rankings with a massive 27-7 record. They are officially the very first team to clinch a playoff spot. But take a look at who's right on their heels, the Golden State Valkyries. In just their second year, you guys, this expansion team is surging into second place at 23-9. That is wild. Right behind them, we've got the fiercely clutch Washington Mystics at 19-12, and then the defending champion Las Vegas Aces at 22-11. So the top tier is set, but man, those margins are razor thin. Section 2. Simulating the WNBA Finals. Now, what's really interesting about these numbers is the massive gap between being a heavy favorite and actually securing that trophy. Based on ELO-based Monte Carlo simulations for the rest of the season and the playoffs, the Minnesota Lynx are actually given just a 35% chance to win it all. The Valkyries sit at 21%, the Aces at 15%, and the Fever at 8%. Think about that. Even though Minnesota is the clear, undisputed frontrunner on paper, there's a 65% chance that someone else takes it home. That just proves how incredibly unpredictable these playoffs are going to be. Because, let's be real, statistics alone have a massive blind spot. This was beautifully pointed out by a member of the WNBA Reddit community who was looking at this exact model. They wrote, quote, "This beige analysis doesn't really take into account existential dread whenever it's time to play the Aces." And honestly, it's a hilarious but incredibly valid point. You simply cannot program an algorithm to measure the pure intimidation factor of going up against a back-to-back championship team led by Becky Hammon. The human element is always going to challenge the math. Section 3. Injuries shifting the balance. When we start looking at that real-world's chaos, the absolute starkest example right now is A'ja Wilson's recent absence due to a right ankle injury. The drop-off here is just stunning. Look at the dramatic contrast in the Aces' second chance points. When A'ja is on the floor, they're averaging 11.6 second chance points per game. But without her, that number completely plummets to just 3.0 points. There is literally no next man up when you lose a generational talent and a rim protector of her caliber. And the ripple effects of Wilson being out, they go way, way beyond just losing rebounds. Because opposing defenses don't have to double-team A'ja in the paint anymore, the Aces' guards are suddenly dealing with way tighter coverage. They can't crash the boards from the corners like they used to. Stars like Jackie Young and Chelsea Gray are now facing just constant blitzes and double teams all game long. So, in response, Coach Hammon is radically rejiggering her lineups. She's shifting to a heavy offensive focus by starting Cheyenne Parker-Tyus. Since replacing Wilson's defensive presence is basically impossible, they're leaning entirely into just trying to outscore their opponents. Section 4. Off-court drama and distractions. Now, shifting gears off the court, there's been some outside noise. Recently, 11 politicians sent a formal letter to the WNBA regarding Caitlin Clark. The letter states, quote,
If discrimination or retaliation is occurring in creating a hostile work environment, we support any appropriate investigation by the Department of Justice, the Department of Labor, or the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. If true, such conduct would constitute violations of federal civil rights laws. In response to this outside political involvement, the Indiana Fever released a statement to clarify their position. The organization stated that they were entirely unaware of this letter, and they confirmed it was in no way connected to their team or front office. Basically, the Fever are actively distancing themselves from this external distraction, making sure they keep their focus strictly on the basketball court as they make their push for the playoffs. But, distractions don't just come from outside politics. They can also brew right inside a winning locker room. Over in New York, the Liberty are sitting really comfortably at 20-13, but trade rumors are heavily swirling around Banya Leilani Hamilton. Coming back from an absence, Hamilton is reportedly frustrated with her reduced role and lack of minutes in what is, let's face it, a really crowded Liberty rotation. So the crucial point is, with the August 2nd trade deadline fast approaching, this internal friction could actually lead to a major roster shakeup for a legitimate championship contender. Section 5. The playoff format explained. Let's move to and see how this builds, mapping out how this ultimate gauntlet will actually unfold. The regular season officially concludes on September 24th, and then just 3 days later, on September 27th, the standard 8-team bracket kicks off. Round 1 is a super volatile, high-stakes best 2 out of 3 series, and as fans and data modelers alike will tell you, a short 3-game series makes upsets incredibly possible. If you manage to survive that, the semifinals expand to a best 3 out of 5, and finally, the WNBA Finals will test ultimate endurance in a best 4 out of 7 series. The stakes literally just keep escalating at every single turn. So let's zoom out. We have a historic, absolutely dominant Minnesota team sitting at a 35% probability to win it all. We have rising expansion stars. We have defending champions battling some really severe injury woes, and deep rosters dealing with internal trade demands. The math has given us its perfectly calculated answer, right? But the reality of the WNBA is just beautifully unscripted. So the final question I'm going to leave you with today is this. When the dust finally settles and the algorithms are thrown out the window, who do you think will survive the gauntlet to claim the 2026 WNBA championship? Let the games begin.